Big day in Canberra, of course. We're seeing the budget sales pitch in full swing today. The Treasurer has rejected claims this morning that his $14 billion cost of living package will further fuel inflation. Trudy McIntosh is following the budget wash-up for us this morning. Trudy, take us through some of the big reaction we've seen so far today.
Well, Ash, it seems the central fight in the wake of Jim Chalmers' second budget last night is whether it will have the overall impact of easing inflationary pressures or make the situation worse in the economy. Now, the answer to that depends on who you ask. Jim Chalmers and the Prime Minister out this morning denying that their budget does add to inflationary pressure. They argue that the spending is spread out over 4 years, that it's targeted at the most vulnerable, that they resisted large cash splashes and cash handouts. But economists and the opposition zeroing in on the economic theory that if you provide people energy rebates, for example, it frees them up to spend money elsewhere, and that does increase overall demand, put more pressure on inflation, and potentially cause the Reserve Bank to feel the need to raise interest rates once again even higher. This was put to the Prime Minister this morning. Is the real test for him going forward going to be what reaction we see from Governor Phil Lowe?
If we do see inflationary pressure and rate rises happen, will the budget have failed its most important test?
Tom, this is a responsible budget.
Are you reluctant to have the test of rate rises? Does that worry you that they could be happening and you don't want that to be the test of the budget?
Tom, the test of the budget is, does it make a positive difference to our economy? The answer to that is yes.
You cannot tell me that spending $2 for every $1 saved is not inflationary.
So you're calling
$185 billion over the course of this budget. I'll leave the Treasury to make their own estimates and have their own conversations.
Well, they've made it though, but you're saying you don't think they stack up essentially.
I'm calling baloney on that, Tom, because honestly, you cannot have this much additional spending.
The next thing to turn your attention to is how many of these measures need to get through the Senate. Now, that's where the government could face some opposition in terms of the crossbench wanting to get more, particularly when it comes to welfare and rent. On that point, let's talk about the job seeker increase. It doesn't go anywhere near high enough compared to what welfare advocates were saying, even key members of the crossbench. The government's settling on a $40 a fortnight increase. Some of the welfare groups were calling for a $40 a day increase. It comes with a price tag of $4.9 billion. Now, I've checked, this does need to go through legislation, so it does need to get to the Senate and get the tick of approval. There's a question mark over whether the coalition will oppose that increase. We'll wait and see from Peter Dutton on that. But as for the Greens, Adam Bandt this morning, Ash, indicating, look, they want a lot more money on job seeker, but they said ultimately they can't stand in the way and they don't want to block people from getting additional support.
Trudy McIntosh live in Canberra. Thank you.